The African National Congress's National Executive Committee is meeting today, and NEC member Tony Yengeni says the meeting will ensure that Ramaphosa respects the country's constitution.
Is expected to convene this afternoon, get a report from the officials, discuss the matter that will be presented to us, and come to certain conclusions. And I think that in that regard, some of us will be insisting that the president must not only uphold the rule of law and the constitution, but he must respect the law and the constitution of the republic. You must respect the people of South Africa. You must respect the country and the government.
Let's get you more reaction on the Phala Phala matter. We're now joined by the African Transformation President, Mr. Vuyolwethu Zungula. And this moment, by and large, is attributed to the African Transformation Movement, something that the spokesperson of the Presidency described as an unprecedented and extraordinary moment.
Indeed. Look, firstly, as the ATM and members of Parliament, we did what we are constitutionally required to do, which is to hold the executive accountable. The second thing is that, yes, this moment, it is as a result of the actions of the president. Now, it is the president that decided to stash millions of dollars on his farm, did not report it, concealed the investigation, did not follow the law. So if there's anyone that needs to take accountability for the state that we're in, it is the president. If the president had acted in accordance to the law, would not be where we are currently, would not be sitting where people are creating some sort of constitutional crisis. There's no constitutional crisis. The only crisis we have, it is a person that has been found by the panel that there's prima facie evidence of him committing wrong. That person is refusing to resign so that he does not influence and manipulate the processes.
Let's talk about the way forward then, because on Tuesday, the 6th of December, you will be sitting as members of Parliament. How will that process play itself out?
On Tuesday, what's going to happen is that the report will be debated by the members of Parliament. Immediately after the debate, the report will be voted on. Once the report has been voted on, and I can guarantee you, members of Parliament in the National Assembly will vote to adopt that report, leading to the setting up of the impeachment committee, because the rules of Parliament are very clear. And in fact, I think it's prudent for me to remind people, members of Parliament took an oath to abide by the Constitution, and when they are abiding by the Constitution, there is no member of Parliament who can rightfully vote, to discard a report that is saying a president may have seriously violated the Constitution, may have seriously committed acts of misconduct. Now, this impeachment committee is going to get to the bottom of the matter. We're going to investigate or interview that Mr. Ndlovu that is saying he received $580,000 in cash and puts them in a mattress. We're going to investigate the farm manager. We're going to interview each and every person that is involved so that South Africans can have clarity, because that is something that the president has refused to do. He's refused to take the nation into his confidence about the origins of that currency. Why was it there? Why was it not banked? So Parliament is going to assist him.
That process will only happen if members of Parliament adopt this report. Let's just take a listen at what the Presidency spokesperson, Mr. Vincent Magwenya, had to say yesterday, and come back to you in a moment.
So it's not about whether he is panicking. He's not panicking, that I can assure you. It's not about the fact that he lacks confidence in his own caucus. But as I said, and I'm going to run the risk of over-repeating myself, it's about, appropriately processing the report, getting the benefit of different views, views which are being expressed in the interest of the country, and it's about being comfortable that when he embarks on a course of action and communicates that course of action, he will have considered all factors that need to be considered on the matter.
President Cyril Ramaphosa does not lack confidence in his caucus. Members of his own party at the highest echelons are divided. Some calling for him to step down. And Gwede Mantashe on the channel this morning saying, well, he shouldn't rush himself. There's no need for him to feel under pressure to step down. You're also imploring members of Parliament to vote to adopt that report and to fulfill their constitutional mandate. Now, given that the African National Congress holds the majority in Parliament, should this report not be adopted, what then happens? You are calling for a secret vote. You've since written to the Speaker. What has she said?
The Speaker has not responded as yet, but we are positive. There is no righteous members of Parliament that will go campaign for 2024 and say you abide by the Constitution, the rule of law, whereas practically in Parliament they vote to protect an inquiry. You know, the impeachment committee that will be set up is just to inquire, expose, get deeper into each and every aspect that happened in Phala Phala. And I need to state this. There's a lot of people who are downplaying the crisis of the president by saying it's not corruption. The panel's report is saying the president may have seriously violated Section 34 of PRECA, the Prevention and Combating of Corrupt Practices Act, meaning what a president that is violating the very same law that is dealing with issues of corruption. So there's no way in which people who are claiming to be anti-corruption, but they will vote to stop an inquiry that wants to go deeper into the matter and investigate what actually transpired.
And then we take a look at the situation of the Speaker of Parliament, granting that secret ballot, and this then does go ahead and the impeachment committee is then set up. You spoke of the various interviews. Maybe let's just get into the body of the panel report. You spoke of Mr. Ndlovu, who apparently said that there was a safe. However, he didn't trust that the money would be safe in the safe, and so he had to put it in the couch. And so you also take a look at the issue of the apparent Sudanese businessman who has no address, who has no ID number. So what will you be concerning with yourselves with in particular? Because you also submitted supporting documents, if you will.
You know, we've got a crisis. If you were to read the report, particularly when it analyzes what we said there were charges, and when the panel is actually discussing the responses from the president versus what we said were charges, that report from start to end is clearly showing how Mr. Ramaphosa undermines our intelligence and, most importantly, how compromised he is. Look, we can't have a case whereby there's a so-called business person who comes from whatever country, comes to our country with 580,000. I can imagine Umtu just going around the country with that amount of money, goes to a farm, whereas there was no advertisement that there's going to be any sale of animals. And there's no prior arrangement that is made that I'm going to come. Please make sure that there are these amount of animals. He does not even inquire how much each buffalo costs. So how did he know that he needs to bring 580,000 for 20 buffaloes? And the fact that those buffaloes are still in Phala Phala clearly shows that we've got a compromised president. And if I were the president, or if I was his advisor, I would advise him to simply resign and allow the process to continue so that it does not manipulate, it does not influence. He's been a person that is campaigning on the ticket of integrity, moral standing. So this is the true test whether he's a man of his word or he's actually the same like all other people who speak left but walk right.
We are waiting at any moment, whether this moment or the next couple of days, for the president to then address the nation. Just to reiterate, what you want to hear from the president is him saying he will step down? Indeed.
Look, this is a very, very serious matter. To have an independent panel comprised of a former Chief Justice coming to a determination that there's prima facie evidence that there's serious violations to the Constitution, a president that acted inconsistent with his office and misconduct. You don't need any more than that, because what that report actually is saying, that we need to be suspect and suspicious of each and every action that Mr. Ramaphosa has taken as president. You know, there's a part that says in that report that, you know, we need to be cautious of the responses of the president. I think the panel was very humble, you know, it was very humble in the sense that what they actually wanted to say, that this person is lying, you know, and we can't afford to have a liar of a president, because how do we trust anything that he says? For example, he's been going around making loans for the country, sorry. So how do we trust if those loans are actually in the best interest of the people? How do we trust that these arrangements that he's making on behalf of the country with some other countries and institutions are actually in the best interest of the country, particularly when there is so much foreign currency in his farm that is undeclared? And even this Mr. Somewhat from South Sudan, there's not even a passport copy of him. There's no way of tracing if that person, such a person exists. Therefore, it's very serious matter that we're in, and the best way is for Mr. Ramaphosa to resign. Very quickly, for us, it is Friday. When are you expecting that the Speaker will get back to you on that secret vote? We're hoping that it will be today. We've sent a follow-up, and immediately we have a response. We are going to publicize it. Thank you very much. Mr. Vuyolwethu Zungula leads the African Transformation Movement.